we are. Welcome back. Happy Wednesday to Mayor's Minutes. Can the people in the audience hear that music that's playing? My lead-in. Can they hear that? They can hear that song. That's a little catchy tune, you know. It's getting right up here in the mayor's memory, like "I Like Methuen" by Beverly Escott, right? So I think we're going to probably ask MCS to kind of, copyright that tune, right, so that nobody else can steal it from us. So, but good lead-in and great video on the production showing the past Memorial Day parades. I love that. So welcome back. Happy Wednesday. This is the mayor. It's June 12th. It's bright and sunny outside. It's 70 plus degrees. Get out there and get some vitamin D while you can. And welcome to this week's co-host, I'll call him, Gerald Schiavoni, who is the administrator, Merrimack Valley Eats?
Co-founder, administrator,
yeah. And we're going to talk a lot about that because I know there's really good parts to it and sometimes there's frustrating parts to it as well, right?
Yes.
So, but thank you for coming on the show.
You're welcome.
And thank you once again from the city of Methuen for working with us on Savor Methuen.
Of course.
We've got that coming next week. Restaurant Week, Savor Methuen. We want you to get out and we'll sample some of these specialties. And if you forget everything else the mayor says over the next 50 plus minutes or so, remember what I say every week. These small businesses are the backbone of our community, right? Get out there and support them, right? You don't need to support them, and this is not a slam, you don't need to support McDonald's or Burger King as much as you need to support these local local establishments that really, so much of what we do in the community, they're a part of, right? Funding our youth sports teams, all this kind of stuff. And, I give you an example. I've never gone to Mann's or to Bada Bing or the Fireside. I don't want to leave anybody out. Any one of those restaurants for help with a situation without them, immediately responding. And I use the example as much as it inflames people is that the night that the state dropped over 100 families on us in the Days Inn and made it a shelter, those families hadn't been fed for 2 days. And so the director of HHSI at the time called me and said, we got to do something. I reached out and called John from Bada Bing, and in a minute's time, like half an hour, he had a full meal up there, pasta, cutlets, etc., some pizza. And I said to him, all right, let me get you paid. And he said, let's worry about that after.
Right.
Let's take care of the people right now. And so that's the kind of people that we're talking about in the city of Methuen, right? Our good friend John from Bada Bing, and all these folks that really do so much to make our community what it is. So, Jerry, welcome to the show. Just a reminder, we'll do the slide first. So the first slide, we've changed our medium from Facebook to YouTube. I hope people know that by now. You can ask live questions on the Methuen Community Studios YouTube channel. The ground rules are the same every week. The softballs go to the mayor. The tough ones go to the guest.
I can handle that.
So, Jerry, you're prepared. So we look forward to your questions. The last couple of weeks, we haven't had a lot of questions for the guests. I think this week's going to be a little bit different because we've got a food aficionado here. And I say this to you, Jerry, despite my losing all this weight, I remain a foodie.
Right.
Right. I love food. I just can't eat as much as I used to, but look forward to talking about it every time. Because there isn't a place in Methuen that I won't talk to you about, what their, what specific item on the menu really gets me going,
right?
Gets me charged. You know what I mean? So, so let's talk a little bit about Merrimack Valley Eats to start. So, how long has that been? It's a Facebook group.
It
right?
is, yeah.
Yeah.
It's become almost more than a Facebook group. It's like people truly rely on it for opinions and perspective on food in the Merrimack Valley. It's been since 2017.
Wow.
Since we created it. It's just upwards about 100,000 members now. In all, there's some bots just like on the internet, but it's mainly Haverhill, Methuen, Salem, New Hampshire, Amesbury, and just sort of that 495 corridor.
Yeah.
While technically speaking, like the Merrimack Valley does encompass like Lowell up to Newburyport, it really is squeezed down to that area.
Yeah.
I'd say mostly.
Yeah.
It does get out a little bit towards Drake and Lowell. which are bigger communities. I mean, Lowell's pretty large.
Yeah, and I'm proud to consider myself one of the 100,000 plus. Right?
Yeah, I appreciate that.
So I love being part of it. And I love. There's certain parts of it I love, and there's certain parts of it that occasionally I don't love.
Yeah.
And I see you go out there and try to control the stuff that I don't love. So I get all the admiration in the world for you. It must be tough, right? So I was going to say, what's the best thing that's come out of Merrimack Valley Eats?
I think, there have been businesses that have started with very little budget to market themselves that have come into the group and been like, we're opening this new restaurant, come try us out, almost like an invitation, and then done extremely well.
Yeah.
I think it's a helpful tool because it's free. And nobody's charged to be a part of it.
Right.
So a restaurant can come in and say, hey, come try us out. We're just opening. And they get feedback that's really helpful.
Yeah.
There are some that don't want to give them constructive feedback and just sort of want to be
left alone,
unhelpful, and then a little bit on the rude side. But mostly it's positive.
Yeah.
I'll say that, a place can come in, invite them in, and they'll have like a 2 hours. One, for example, had a 2-hour wait on their first hour, on their first Friday.
Yeah.
So it's been a really helpful tool. And I've found a lot of places also.
Yeah.
So, I lived in Haverhill, so I really didn't get too far out of it. And then when I started the group, I saw places in Lowell that I was really introduced to. And then, upwards in Newburyport that I would never really found. Because it can be a lot to go and search on your own and try 50 different places. Not a lot of people can do that.
Right.
But if you get recommendations from your peers and, people that you trust in the community.
Go here, try that.
Yeah, go here, try that.
Yeah.
The opinion piece is cool. Where's the best? Steak tip, where's the best? Prime rib is a big one.
Yeah, sure.
But you can find a lot of places that have anything that's really great. Yeah. And differing opinions. There's a lot of different
Sweetheart
opinions.
Inn must be running with the
That's
prime rib.
Definitely the top 5.
Yeah.
And say, hey, go to this place. It's huge. It's only on one night. Or, they say, what do and don't.
Yeah. So I was going to lead into what the frustrating thing is, but I'm going to give you some ammo here.
Sure.
So one of my pet peeves is, any restaurant, when they first open, they're going to go through trials and tribulations, I call them, right? Ironing out the kinks, right? And I think, sometimes, unfortunately, what happens is you get people who, try a place and they try it the first week, and everything's not going to fall, lay flat.
Right.
Right? You're going to have issues that you didn't predetermine as a restaurant owner, right? And, unfortunately, sometimes people like to hop on and say, I went to so-and-so place and the so-and-so was cold and this, right? And the question running through my mind is, well, did you talk to the manager?
Right.
Right? Did you talk to the manager on duty? Because I think, somewhat in this media society, we've kind of lost the ability, and it's not unique to restaurants, by the way. Neighbors don't talk to each other. Now we call the police and tell them to be quiet.
Right.
That's par for the course. But I guess what I'd plead is a little bit of patience when a restaurant first opens, because it takes some time to iron those kinks out, right? So
I agree.
And I don't know if you've experienced, have any restaurant. Do the restaurants get back to you, Jerry, on, by and large, when they see feedback on Merrimack Valley Eats?
Some of them have reached out and been like, hey, we feel this is unfair because, X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And I do empathize with them 100%, but in my experience, it's been better for them to come out as a restaurant owner or manager and just comment.
Yeah.
And because you can see it in threads. Somebody has a negative experience. Most of the time, the people in the group will want to support the restaurant, right? Because they can kind of weed out whether a person's being unreasonable.
Right.
And some people are just unreasonable sometimes.
Right.
I can be unreasonable.
Yeah.
And I think it starts to pile on. Yeah. All of a sudden, the thread gets huge.
Yes.
And what happens with, especially Facebook, the more people comment, the more people it gets in front of.
Absolutely.
Because you could post something and it would reach maybe 10,000 people.
Yeah.
But if you post something controversial, it reaches 500,000.
It does.
Because even though there's only 100,000 people in the group, it gets shared.
It takes a life of its own.
It takes a life of its own, and it gets sort of injected into people's feeds.
Yeah.
So I think when the restaurant owner comes in and chimes in, it kind of can go the other direction. And people are like, oh, look at how they handle a bad situation. There was a restaurant owner in Methuen, I won't name drop it necessarily. He said he actually sees the same impact from somebody posting negatively as positively.
Wow.
Because either people will see his reaction to the negative and come in to support because of that, or he'll see a positive one and people will come in because of the positive review. So it just depends on what the perception is.
What the perception is, so how much time does that take? Do you have to go in and like monitor it, or?
There are, I think since we talked last, there's been a lot of improvements on Facebook or Meta's side to manage it. There's been like automatic assists where like certain keywords will automatically get declined, and certain if something's reported a certain number of times, it'll automatically be like paused. So it's because I sleep, once in a while.
Yeah, you do.
But but like sometimes things will happen in the middle of the night when nobody's awake. And people will just like go off. And there's some automated stuff to it, but there's also like 5 or so other people like that are moderators that help with the day-to-day.
So let's talk, we'll come back to Merrimack Valley Eats, but let's specifically focus on Save a Methuen, which starts Monday. Mark your calendars. It's Methuen Community Studios. You are on your game.
That was quick.
I want to spend a little time going through these. So thank you for helping put these slides together,
of course.
So Save a Methuen is next week. We're going to take a little time on each one of these. It's June 17th to 21st. So our rundown of the food spots, try it out this week. So we're going to go through some, and I can tell you without even knowing that is French onion soup from the Irish Cottage on the left there.
Wow, that was good.
I know my stuff, right?
Can you guess the middle one's obvious, it says it. But can you guess what the one on the right is?
Is in the middle one, is it? Yeah. On the right, Pika's?
It's Ellie's, actually.
Is it Ellie's? Ellie's is fantastic. So Rick Angelo at Ellie's, what a wonderful addition to this community, right? He's just such a great guy.
Agreed.
We're doing a little.
Oh, okay.
So if you look at, so I got 2 out of 3. I guess that's a C minus. So let's go through some of the charts for Save a Methuen, and let's take them slowly so we can kind of talk to them. So this first one is the Irish Cottage. Our good friend Coley Orion and Jimmy. So there's a $10 offer off of $50 or more. Alcohol obviously excluded, dine-in only. And you can't tell the mayor's eating there often, but I knew that.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I knew that French onion soup from a mile away. And it looks like, are those potato skins on the right? I can't really see.
Those are, I believe, they're the corned beef egg rolls. And then there's like a roast beef in the back with a dip, the nachos, and I think off to the side. The French onion soup is in back there, I can see.
Yeah. So I'm a math guy. So I look at this and say 20% discount to go in and eat during. And by the way, you can pace yourself, right? So it's anytime June 17th to 21st. You're going to see the mayor's committed to his office staff that we're going to go to a couple places and we're going to take some pictures.
Perfect. Yeah.
But this is Irish Cottage. Not only can you get the French onion soup, you can get, and I believe it's Guinness onion soup there. You can get a Reuben that's one of the best in the valley. Mm-hmm. You can get corned beef and cabbage, obviously. I really like the cottage pie, which it shows you how staid and conservative sometimes I can be. So cottage pie is really like shepherd's pie, but without the corn, with other vegetables, right?
Yeah.
So you get a hamburger, you get mashed potatoes, you get like a tomatoey broth, and you get some carrots and peas in it, right? And it's really an excellent dish, quite filling.
Okay.
Right?
I'll have to try it.
Well, and you can tell the Irish, cheap eats that will fill you up.
Yeah.
Right? So make sure you go up and make sure you tell the folks at the Irish Cottage that we sent you there from Mayor's Minutes, right? Because you never know what they'll do there. Maybe Cole will bring you a drink over. So that's the Irish Cottage. Next slide, please. is Jocelyn. So we had Jocelyn on the show last week. I don't know if you
great.
And she was a delight to talk to. And let me tell you, I went to the ribbon cutting, and the food is excellent.
It looks amazing. That dish just looks phenomenal.
Yeah. Now there's actually, when we say Savor Methuen, Jocelyn's is at Merrimack Street, but there's also another one right at the end of Hampstead Street, where I live. It's actually in Salem, New Hampshire, you go in. She was telling me there's like 49 seats in the one in Salem, New Hampshire, and there's 42 or 43 seats in the one in Methuen, which makes them small and intimate, but at times can be noisy for people too, right? Some people can, but again, another $10 off 50, spend $50, dine in only, and excluding alcohol. So go in, take your significant other for a bite to eat, and look at that looks delicious. What is that?
I pulled this off of their website, so I don't know, but it looks amazing.
It looks like a ribeye, right, to me. But and I don't know what's on top of it, but that looks delicious, right? And I can tell you firsthand, we sampled for the ribbon cutting. There was chicken, there was egg rolls, there was a number of different specialties. What I love that's at Jocelyn's is going to be shocking. So the Irish guy who eats only well-done food loves what's called kibbeh nai, raw kibbeh.
Yeah, love it.
So the raw kibbeh, you and me both.
It's really, really good.
I was married to a Lebanese gal for a while, and I learned to take the raw kibbeh and you put it in the Syrian bread with a little red onion, and maybe even dip it in some hummus, and wow, what a take. So you got to try that, and you got to try it at Sevmar's. And what I loved that she said when she was here last week, so the kibbeh nai is so popular now that they don't just offer it on weekends. So some places offer it only on weekends.
Yeah.
You can go to Sevmar and get it any night
every
of the week,
day.
which is a great thing.
That's great.
Yeah. Have you eaten raw kibbeh?
I have.
Like
it's really, really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. I love it with a little bit of the garlic paste too.
Oh, sure.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah. Excellent. And then before we move on, one more second. Before we move, they also have the kibbeh, the chicken kebab, the steak kebabs, and you can get it as a dinner or as a wrap.
Right.
And I really like that because depending on my mood and how hungry I am, right, I could go dinner or 2 appetizers or the sandwich, which typically comes with fries or rice on the side, right? And believe it or not, I'm a sucker for the rice.
Right. It's very good.
Love it, right? So it ain't often you'll see me pass up potatoes, but you will when it's
rice.
Yeah. Excellent rice. All right, next slide, please. This is our good friend John at Bada Bing.
LeConte's actually.
Who is it?
This is LeConte's.
Oh, I'm sorry, I can't even read that. Where is it?
Yeah, there was another one with the thing on it.
My apologies. So LeConte's, thank you for coming in. LeConte's, great food. I always worry about the location because they're kind of tucked away a little bit.
Yeah.
But they've been doing an excellent job. All of the feedback I've had from my critical staff, my kids, they love LeConte's.
Yeah.
Right? And LeConte's now has prepared foods. Prepared dinners, you can make like
to go and that kind of stuff.
Mayor's, dinners. Like,
So
stick them in the oven
toss
and you're
in
done.
the oven and you're done.
Say, look what I cooked. So LeConte's has a deal next week that says $5 off of 30, $10 off of 50, and buy any large pizza, get a half off a small cheese or a pepperoni. That's a great deal. That is a great deal. Are those combined deals, do you know, Jerry?
I think they're individual. I think you could get one or the other.
Okay. That's a great deal, though. I mean, to buy a large pizza and get half off a small cheese and pepperoni, you can feed a family with basically 2 pizzas. And if you haven't seen the pizzas from LeConte's, they're
big? I've had the subs there before.
They're big.
I haven't had the pizzas.
The subs are like, they truly fit, to me, the word torpedoes, right?
Yeah.
They're big.
They're big.
Yeah. So I hate to say that I can't make my way through an entire LeConte sub anymore.
I was surprised when I first had them. I was like, they're large.
Yeah. So go in there, make sure you reference Save of Methuen, and take advantage of one of these sweet deals next week. I don't know what that pizza is on the right, but that looks interesting to me. It's got peppers and pepperoni, and
it looks like sausage too, black olives.
That's right up the mayor's alley right there.
The pickle one, very popular. People love pickle pizzas. The one on the left side, that's a phenomenon. I'm not a pickle fan. There's pickles on it. Yeah, there's like pickles and like red onions.
Really? People
love the pickle pizza.
Now, will that eliminate the debate, Jerry, that does pineapple belong on pizza?
I don't think so. That's a good one. That's a polarizing one.
It is.
Every time that's posted in the group, it gets like
I love watching people's reactions to it.
It's funny. Yeah,
this doesn't belong on pizza, right?
Some good arguments, but I have my own opinions. So.
Yeah, pickle pizza, huh? Well, we'll have to try that. All right, next slide, please. Mans, our good friend, the Fitzgeralds, thank you for participating once again. So Save of Methuen 2024, they've got specialties for breakfast, lunch, and I think something at the barn. Yeah, it's something at the barn down there on the. So the barn is a great place to get an ice cream. They came out last year with an idea of a deconstructed sundae.
Oh, really?
I thought it was fantastic.
Okay.
So you got like a tray, plastic tray, and you got whipped cream, ice cream, cherries, nuts, some sauce, and your ice cream.
Right.
All separate containers. And you kind of, what a great idea.
Yeah, and they actually have a different special for every day.
Yeah.
So their lunch specials are, Monday through Friday, a different thing for the lunch. And then breakfast is $5 egg and cheese with a small cold brew.
Outstanding.
Is amazing. And that's daily. Yeah. And then the barn also is, each of those are dailies.
A single brownie sundae is $5. A single strawberry shortcake. I love strawberry shortcake. And of course, apple crisp and ice cream. Where else would you go for that? And their lunch specials, to your point. So on Monday, you get your choice of whatever lunch special you want with the $5. For $5, what a great deal. Tuesday, sausage, peppers, and onion sub. So I can tell you, either Tuesday or Wednesday, Mans will see me.
Okay, yeah, the walking taco.
I'm thinking hard about the walking taco.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure I know what that means, but I want to try it.
Basically chips, a little bag of potato chips, and a constructed taco on top of it.
Oh, I love that idea.
Good. And the burgers are amazing.
What a great.
The Merrimack Valley chicken barb, it's like a staple.
I've had the smash burgers. Smash burgers are delicious, and the chicken barb is second to none, right? I would say if you're going to go for a chicken barb, either go to Mans or go to Pica's, right?
Oh, yeah.
They both have chicken barbs that are excellent. A little known fact, though, fun fact, I went to lunch right after we had hired him a little over a year ago with the new police chief. Mm-hmm. And I went to Pica's. And I sat there and watched him dialogue with the waitress about pickles. He has an aversion to pickles that's so strong that he won't even have them on the plate.
Really?
So if they come on the plate, not in this, if they're on the plate, he returns the sandwich.
Wow.
So he actually told the server,
nowhere near my food.
No pickles anywhere near it, to the point where he got the mayor thinking when he was on vacation. I bought like 15 jars of pickles just to put them in his office.
Right, just to stuff them in the desk drawers and stuff like that.
Yeah. But maybe we'll get him to go down to LeConte's and look at that pickle pizza.
Right. Yeah, maybe we'll get one for him.
Oh, I love that
idea.
Get a
delivery, walk up with a delivery to the pickle pizza. That would be pretty funny.
Tonight's Police Memorial Day. I meant to say that, and I forgot that up front. Just want to make sure people understand. Ceremony begins shortly at PD, and the mayor will be over there at 6:30 once he finishes the show. But it's an important event to remember those that have gone before us in these occupations. So Police Memorial, 2 minutes away at Methuen PD. If you're not there, don't drive 90 miles an hour to get there.
Right.
Please, right. All right, next slide. I want to give each one. This is my man John from Bada Big Bada Boom, and he's got buy one large pizza, get a small cheese free. That's a great deal. Mm-hmm. Limit one per customer, but you must mention Restaurant Week. I love that he put that in there.
Right.
I love that he put that in there. And so, you know, bada bing, heart as big as the valley.
Right.
Right. John is just such an integral part of everything we do here, as are the Fitzgeralds and, you know, the folks at Thwaites. But John, chicken wings, excellent. I mean, I'm trying to think, what's the dip that my kids love?
Oh, the buffalo cookie.
Oh my God.
It's amazing.
It's
it's
amazing,
really, really
right?
good.
So if I say bada bing, kids go buffalo cookies, right?
Yeah.
And it's good you remember because
the name is just so unique.
It is.
I was like, when I got it first, I was like, is this a cookie? And it was just the best buffalo
I
dip
love
around.
when you said that because I was thinking, the first time my kids ordered it, I was thinking, what the hell is that?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You
It
have it
sound
like
odd.
dessert for an appetizer. And then you get the chips and you dip the chips into the tortilla chips into the, it's just amazing.
Right.
Amazing. State Representative Ryan Hamilton will be pleased to hear me call his name out because he is a big fan of the Alfredo pizza.
Oh, okay. I'll have to try
Bada
it.
Bing, right? It used to be a nonstop of his when he was working for me.
Okay.
Right? So I don't know if he still does that or if he's weaned himself off, but big devotee of the Alfredo pizza. I am a fan of, I think it's called the North Ender. It's like sausage, peppers, and onions, which is, and I like, I don't want to say I'm like Dave Portnoy, but I like my pizza a little more well done.
The crisp,
crisp, so that it, you know, there's a crackle to it.
Yeah,
right?
no flop.
No
Crisp.
flop.
Okay, yeah. I know the terminology.
Yeah. Score it. Maybe we'll do another show where you and I go around to these
we'll go to
places.
the pizza places.
Score them.
Sure.
Yeah, I love that idea. That's a great roadshow idea, MCS. We'll have to figure that out. All right. So that go back one side. I just want to make sure we spend enough time on each. So bada bing, bada boom. Buy one large pizza, get a small cheese free. The limit is one per customer. You only get it if you mention Restaurant Week. Now this one's a little bit different than the others because it doesn't say dine-in only, right? So you have the option of, if you're doing a takeout, you order a large cheese pizza, you can get a small cheese free, but you've got to mention Restaurant Week. So please make sure you do. And while I'm here, Jerry, thank you for all your hard work putting the graphics together with us and working with these restaurants. Because I know it can be, so we approached someone, I want to say, there's a couple that just opened, Yee's Table and River Edge. And they definitely would be in, except for the fact that they just opened, right? And they need to get there. And we completely understand that. That doesn't mean you shouldn't go there. I've heard people who've eaten at Yee's Table say, outstanding. And, you know, we haven't gotten there yet, my family and I, but we will. Same thing for River Edge. River Edge got the thumbs up of the Methuen Fire Department. Okay. So that tells me it's pretty good food.
I have to try them out. I've seen them posted a few times.
Yeah. Okay, next slide now, please. There you go. Now this is the Sweetheart Inn, the historic Sweetheart Inn, which has a $10 off 50. That seems to be the most popular approach this year, or 20% off your meal. Excludes your alcohol and dine in only. So that's all next week. And what better picture than the prime rib? The prime rib.
Yeah,
right?
it's everybody's favorite.
Yeah.
Usually is a prime rib wherever they go.
Yeah. Now I'm not a prime rib eater, Jerry.
Okay. And do you just not like the rareness of it or the fatty?
It would be a waste to cook that the way I would eat it. Right.
So well done.
Yeah, well done.
Okay, yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Well done, butterfly. So I butterfly well done.
Oh, wow.
I've been, and in my travels in Raytheon, long before I came to the city of Methuen, I've been in restaurants like, I remember vividly once being in a steakhouse in Seattle, Washington, and we're there with a whole bunch of vice presidents from Raytheon, and I'm ordering my dinner, and I say, I'm going to have the filet mignon. And the server says, how do you want that cooked? And I said, butterfly well. And he said, excuse me? And I said, butterfly well. He said, you do know that the chef is going to come out and want to talk to you. And I said, yeah, I'll probably that. I said, can you bring some A1 sauce when you bring the...
Oh, man.
Yeah. So he went away shaking his head. And lo and behold, 3 minutes later, here comes the chef, and he says, "Who's the guy who's ordering filet mignon, well done, butterfly with 99 with the sauce?" And I said, "That's me." And he said, "I got 2 words for you." And before I thought he was going to, say the obligatory 2 words.
Yeah.
He said, "Eat chicken," right? And he walked away. So chefs don't like it when you cook food well done. Unfortunately, that's what I was brought up on. And a lot of people say the Irish, they don't have a lot of taste.
Okay.
A lot of flavor.
Yeah.
Flavor. I love filet mignon, and I love it butterfly well. I love the Longhorn Steakhouse. I wish we had one in Methuen. Great place. We could have a Longhorn over where Outback used to be. So I'll throw that out there in case they're watching.
Oh, right.
I've talked to people at the Waffle House, corporate headquarters of Waffle House. I don't know if you know Waffle House. It's a southern chain.
Oh, right? Yeah, I've heard of them for sure.
So they're open 24/7.
That'd be amazing.
I thought, a Waffle House where Outback was on Pelham Street.
Yeah, it'd be incredible.
You would be whacking the customers away with a hammer.
Right on the highway, too,
right off the
there.
highway. Put that sign up, you'd be getting people,
It's all set up. It's got a hood and everything. It'd be perfect.
Okay, next slide, please. I do want to say one thing before we go into Ellie's. So on the last one, we are thrilled that the folks that have revitalized the Sweetheart Inn, they've done a great job. I can tell you, I've eaten there 3 times since they've reopened. I have not had a bad meal, right? And I've had, I experiment when I go there. I've had, I think, chicken piccata once. I had chicken parm a second time. And then we had some fish tacos that was on a special the 3rd time. All 3 knocked it out of the park, right? So we love to talk about the restaurants when they do well, not just when they don't do well. So kudos to the Sweetheart Inn and the folks that are making it happen up there. It's a great place to take somebody out of the way, quiet, great place to have a nice romantic meal. Next slide. Okay, our good friend Rick at Ellie's Farmhouse, the one I got wrong in the up front. Now, what is that? Is that barbacoa tacos, or what is that?
Yes, I believe those are barbacoa tacos.
Yeah, those look delicious, right? All right, so I'm going to give, this is the mayor's warning. So this is the second restaurant that says you must mention Restaurant Week, right? So I'm hoping they're going to stick to that. I love the idea. If you spend $30 at Ellie's, you get $5 off, alcohol excluded, right? Because they have things like flights of, what do you call it? Why can't I think of champagne and orange juice? Mimosa flights. And I've been in there on a Sunday for brunch and seen, groups going at the mimosa flights. They got other alcoholic drinks as well. But great, another great Reuben sandwich. I don't know if you've tried it there.
I haven't there.
Very good. And the barbacoa tacos are nothing to be sneezed at.
They have a barbacoa breakfast dish too that's really good.
Really?
And they also do these like donuts. They like these handmade donuts with the caramel.
Can I tell you something? Rick would kill me if he saw this and I didn't say it. So I am, and here's they give you for snacks. You get like a plate of apples with cinnamon and brown sugar on them.
So good.
I can almost make a meal on that.
Yeah,
right?
It's really good.
I mean, it's terrific. So when I go in, Rick knows to bring the apples right away, because I end up ordering a separate order. And we did one of the mayor's listening sessions. In fact, let me say, the Sweetheart Inn allowed us to do the mayor's listening session there. Ellie's let us do a listening session there. Borelli's let us do a listening session there, where we brought people in from outside. And 2 of the places were closed when we were doing the listening sessions. So they brought their staff in and paid them to allow us to do the listening session. Borelli's gave us a tray of sandwiches to distribute at the listening session. When we went to Ellie's, we had the mini donuts.
Right, they were so good.
And we had the apple slices, and it's just fantastic, right? They also have a terrific coffee at Ellie's.
Yeah,
right?
they have like espresso bar too. They have a coffee as well.
And I had never had that brand of coffee. I'm not your typical hard coffee drinker.
Right.
But when I went to Italy in 2018, I'm trying to, it's Ritazza or something like that. I got a chance to drink the coffee. Really good. When you have cup after cup, day after day, you really develop an affinity for it.
Right.
He's got it there.
All right.
So go on up to Rick's and make sure you tell him Restaurant Week, right? Want to take advantage of the deal? So $5 off 30. That's a great deal as well. Fresh food, great people, and that is the truth. Next slide. Yala. I love Yala as well, right? Now Yala's got an interesting take on it. They've got a, what do you call it? Like a price fixed dinner?
Yeah, prefix A.
Yeah, thank you for saying it. I wanted to stumble into that, but I didn't want
That's okay. Yeah, I knew exactly what you were getting at.
$45 dinner for two that includes an appetizer, an entree, and a dessert. Do you want to tell us about this one?
Yeah, so, this was interesting because, $45 dinner for two is really inexpensive.
Amen.
So you get to choose any appetizer on their menu up to $10. It does limit a few things, not a lot. There are some that are kind of costly, but you get to choose any entree off, or any two entrees rather, off their regular dinner menu. So that means like any entree listed in the section. Some of them, again, they're like dinner for twos, and they're like larger plates. So that those are not included. And then dessert, you either get a choice of the ashta or two baklava. And the ashta is like phenomenal. It's so good.
It is.
It's light. It's super whipped. It's got the crumbled nuts and honey. It's like sweet and savory. It's not too sweet. It's really, really good.
Yeah, you got me wanting it right now.
No, it's good. You had it, right?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. Well, Yala's a mainstay. And let me tell you, when you say entree, right? So one thing I worry about is that people in the audience will look at it, and if they haven't been there, they say, well, entree. I mean, you got the steak kebab, you got chicken kebab, you got kafta, you got kibbeh. I mean, there's a whole bunch of different opportunities. There's stuffed peppers. There's other stuffed items, right? All of it, eligible for the I keep saying price fix. Say it again.
Right, prefix A.
Prefix A, right? Sooner or later, the mayor will get it.
That's okay.
So go on to Yala. Make sure you tell them you hear about it here. Any day next week. Again, this starts the day after Father's Day. Don't know what to give your dad for a gift? Give him a gift. Take him out to dinner for Restaurant Week. Make yourself look like a hero.
Right.
Take your dad to Yala for dinner for $45. Right. That's a great gift.
Yeah, it's a great deal.
And we got tahini there. We got tabbouleh. We got all kinds of things. Right. I love tahini.
Yeah, very good. Tahini. I like the baba ganoush. That's so good.
Yeah. I was telling somebody the other day about, being married to a Lebanese young lady and learning some of the customs. And, most of it I was talking was food. But then I said, you learn a custom that they do at Easter called fe'is, where they take these eggs and you actually, you try to cover all but the top, and each one goes to kind of crack it. And the winner at the end is the person whose egg doesn't crack.
Oh, that's funny.
It's just a great. Okay. Do we have any more? We do. Our wonderful, dear friends at the Fireside, right? I'm going to say this at the risk of no better cheeseburger club in the Merrimack Valley than at the Fireside.
Okay.
It's just delicious. And the mayor's a sucker for cottage fries.
Okay.
Right? I love them.
What is a cottage fry?
Cottage fry is really just a waffle fry.
Okay.
Right? So not, French fries. You can get French fries if you prefer them, but, they're waffle fries. And to me, that's delicious. One of my biggest disappointments over the last couple of years has been Skips going out of business. Right. Skips in Amesbury, I'm sure you knew them.
Yeah.
The inventor of the curly Q.
Oh, is that true?
They invented it.
Interesting.
Yeah, so they're in the Guinness Book for the invention of the curly Q fry, but they're no longer there, and that's really depressing.
It's a bummer.
My mother, God rest her soul, she would be so happy with just a ride to Merrimack and a cheeseburger special at Skips, right? So, okay, so go back to the Fireside. Great place to eat, and one of the great things about the Fireside, as well as some of these other restaurants, is you get an inside or out dining combo. If it's a really great day like today, you can eat outside on their patio. And if you don't like direct sunlight, you can eat under under an awning. But if you like the sunlight, that option's there as well, right? And the Fireside also offers prepared foods as well. The mayor loves the meatloaf, in addition to the waffle fries, right? Loves the meatloaf at the Fireside. And as Tom and Derek will tell you, is a frequent diner there, right? I love it. And I got in the habit when I used to live up in that end of town. Outstanding. So their offer is free soup with the purchase of an entree, right? And they make some interesting soups. So they got a meatball soup that they make at least once a week.
Okay.
It's like a vegetable soup with meatballs in it.
Yeah.
It's delicious, delicious. And they've got other options as well. So different soup option every day. If you're a follower of the Fireside, you can go on Facebook, like you can from Merrimack Valley Eats, and you can see what their daily specials are. They snap a pic of their whiteboard with all their specials on it, and
perfect.
They slip it out on Facebook, and you're off and running. So again, I think, is that the last one? I think it was.
Yep, and that excludes chowder on that too, a little fine print, but.
Okay. Oh, no, we got one more. And Pika's, good friends at Pika's. So I want to tell you, that sandwich in the top there, I'm forgetting what it's called.
I
That's
forget
chicken
which
with
one that one is. That's a cutlet with prosciutto. I think it's provolone, prosciutto, cutlet, and red onion, it looks like.
That looks delicious.
That's really good. A tomato in there too.
All right, sign me up for one of those next week.
And then
right?
the short rib grilled cheese at the bottom.
Isn't that fantastic, right? And I love the chicken wings there.
Really good.
Very good, right? So the deal here is buy one sandwich, get one free of equal or lesser value. So go with two people. I mean, I don't know how you can miss out on this as a deal. You go with two people, you both buy a sandwich, one of them's coming free, so you're splitting the bill of half of what it normally would be, right? So thank you to Pika's. Thank you to all the restaurants that are participating in Save a Methuen Week. Over 15 of them. Hopefully we've given you kind of a broad view of them. The buy one, get one includes burgers.
Right. I asked for that specifically. And it's at both their locations, so Pika's Deli and Ice Cream and Pika's Pub and Grill. Because that bottom one is from the pub and then the top one is from the deli. So that's at both locations all that week. And there's actually one straggler to George's got back to me, so I believe they're going to be doing $6 wraps. Okay. So I'll put that up on the website for them terrific. Too.
So dine-in only. Just a reminder at Pika's, right? So only I think Bada Bing Bada Boom has it so that you can do it as part of takeout. But
LeConte's too, I think.
LeConte's too. Okay, thank you. Make sure you mention to your server, mention that you're coming there for Restaurant Week. Use the tag, hashtag Save a Methuen. Take a picture. When you're participating in these restaurants, take a picture, hashtag Save a Methuen so that we can see it.
Yeah, we'll feature it, we'll repost it.
And we can share it. Hopefully you're going to let us share. The mayor's going to do that. He's going to share. I've seen I've already spotlighted, the walking taco. Yep. I'm going to check that out.
You're going to try that? All right. Yeah. I'll have to see that.
That sandwich at Pika's on the top left.
It's very good.
Yeah. That's gonna merit a try. So, we'll see what we can do there. Maybe walking tacos on Wednesday and Pika's on Friday. We'll see. But just a reminder, you too can do the same thing. So I joke, but I'm not really joking. It says, what a great gift for Father's Day to take your dad and show him that you care about him by taking him to one of these restaurants that does so much for the city of Methuen, right? And George's, I want to come back to George's because they are fantastic community partners, right? And they make the Syrian bread that goes all over the country, all over the world, right?
It's phenomenal.
It's phenomenal, right? And I eat from there, and I love Lebanese food. I can't deny it, right? I love it.
Right. A lot of great ones in Methuen.
You do. You got Yala. You got You got George's. Yeah, you got a number of different options, and you got a number of different options in the Asian cuisine now with Yee's Table, River Edge. I mean, you got Yang Ming downtown, and you got, don't forget, I'm trying to remember.
It's a House of Pho.
Yeah.
And that's in the Loop.
Yeah.
As well.
Absolutely.
As well as they have like the boba shop too now, right? There's a Gong Cha, I think.
Yeah. Well, you've got 2 more restaurants coming to the Loop.
Oh, wow.
One called Teriyaki Madness.
Okay.
Which is a walk-in, takeout teriyaki, which I'm intrigued by.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. It's not a big place from a square footage, but it's meant to be all walk away.
Right.
Right. And then there's going to be another hot pot, believe it or not.
Oh, really?
Which is great.
In the Loop?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
All different kinds of food coming. You know, the mayor is still fighting, like I said, for places like Waffle House off, and then you know, I did try Frank Pepe's down in Burlington.
Oh yeah, it's good.
Wow.
Very good.
Yeah.
And people say the original locations are even better, which I can't imagine.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I have to try.
I went to. I took a trip to New Haven with my eldest, who's a pizza aficionado, and he follows Dave Portnoy.
Yeah.
And we had to go to Sal's A Pizza and
Sally's,
Frank Pepe's.
Frank Pepe.
And I would tell you, I'd hate to have to pick a winner between the two of them. Right?
I hear they're both really great.
I like them light. I like them crisp. Right?
Yeah.
So those are the restaurants for Restaurant Week, and George's as well.
Oh, we got Sand
Trap. How could I forget my good friends, the Caters? How could I forget them? My apologies 1,000 times over. So you get a free appetizer and a dessert with the purchase for 2 entrees, dine-in only. So next week, if you go to, and this is in the Sand Trap, I want to make sure this is not Parlay, which is upstairs.
Right.
This is Sand Trap, which is in the downstairs. But I want to tell you, try the chicken quesadilla there and tell me it's not one of the best.
All right.
Right? Try the, what's the other? Their steak and cheese, outstanding.
All right.
And I only know about the steak and cheese because the fire chief turned me onto the steak and cheese, right?
Yeah.
But I tend to go there frequently for breakfast.
They open for breakfast?
They are open for breakfast during the golf season, right? So when golf is finished, they're not. But when they're open, they've got some great.
All right, I'll have to try it out.
He does some interesting stuff, Diego. He's quite the chef. So yeah, that's right out by the Myers house. So I stop there all the time. So my apologies to the Caters. Oh, excuse me. TGI Fridays. Excuse me, Jerry. $10 off 50 excludes alcohol. Dine-in only. Again, must mention Restaurant Week. The mayor loves that idea. So TGI Fridays, they have the green beans with the wasabi.
Oh, I haven't tried that.
Oh my God.
I'm just obsessed with their mozzarella sticks, like the flat.
Very good.
They're different because they're flat, a little wider. They're just too good.
Wider and flat, yeah. But the green beans with the wasabi, a great appetizer.
Okay.
And I'm not, I say this, I'm not a fan of everything hot.
Yeah.
But there were certain things like the green beans with wasabi. I once you try them, you say, okay, they definitely go together.
Yeah.
Right. And when I say the green beans, they're actually fried. The green beans are fried in like a dough, and then you dip them in the wasabi.
Battered.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. All right. Next, before I miss somebody else. We got another one? Upcoming events. All right, let me go through these, Jerry, and then we'll come back to you and talk a little bit more about Merrimack Valley Eats. I'll go through them quickly. So the one that's not on tomorrow, from 3 to 7 p.m., Methuen Senior Activity Center celebrates its 40th anniversary. The mayor will be there. There's a dinner. We're looking forward to it. What I think is the best senior center in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. And we've only strengthened it recently with our new hire, Ashley Shaheen, our new executive director. And we've got some terrific staff over there. So June 14th, 3 to 7 p.m. And I do believe you have to register to go to this. Next slide. I'm not going to spend any time on this. Leaf Yard Waste Brush Program is well underway. It will run through Thanksgiving, weather provided, because we no longer need to rent a vehicle. We have a brush truck now. So that helps. Just make sure you pay attention to how your trash is supposed to be wrapped. Next, Veterans Pig Roast is on June 23rd, 11 to 3, in conjunction with the Bedford VA's office. They will have various booths with info on VA benefits. You are welcome to come. You're welcome to bring kids. There's a bouncy house, but you have to register in advance. So either call the Veterans Office, 978-983-8585, or register at tinyurl.com/vetcookout. Next slide. Methuen Youth Soccer, upcoming clinics. I've done this every week. June 24th to 28th, August 12th to 16th. So registration's open. Make sure you get involved. Next slide. Lacrosse Summer Clinic, August 6th through 8th. Work on your skills, trained by the best, right? Power lacrosse coaches and players will teach you techniques and strategy. And this is the fastest growing sport in America, believe it or not, so get involved. Next slide. We've got a golf tournament. We've got a challenge, the Veterans versus the First Responders. It will happen Thursday, August 22nd, between 2 and 5 p.m. I can't believe we're talking about August already. At X Golf in Methuen. Terrific business partners, welcome addition to the loop. If I could get like a King's Bowling Alley next to the X Golf, I could die in peace, Jerry. Yeah, yeah. And X Golf also has food on site. Okay. So I think we'll have to work them in sooner or later, right? Next slide, please. Finish up with our tricentennial because our 300th anniversary committee is well underway. I had a meeting with State Rep Hamilton, who's kind of leading the charge there, and they're separating into groups that are looking at, you know, concerts and functions, events, and other things that we can do, all as part of Methuen's 300th anniversary. We knocked the ball out of the park on our 250th, and we definitely want to do it on our 300th. And I'm saying this, even though I won't be the mayor around the time of the 300th, because that's 2026, we want to make sure we put the proper planning in and pull off an event that's worthy of citizens remembering for years to come. The one slide that's not here that I'm chagrined at is this Saturday, starting at 1 p.m. at the First Baptist Church, right down across from the Central School in St. Monica's, is our Juneteenth event. And I want to say that my beloved brother, Reverend Nathan, he has done an incredible job the last 2 years. And he had singers, and he had a violin group of all young folks from the Merrimack Valley, and they did, I don't know if the song from Ken Burns' documentary, The Civil War, The Ashokan Farewell. I want to tell you, it was moving, right? Moving. So kudos to you, Rev, and thank you. Once again, we're having it at the First Church this year. It's not at the music hall where it's been the last 2 years, as we didn't get in on time, but we're having it at the First Church, and I have no doubt that that event will be every bit as enjoyable as the last couple of years, because the Reverend knocks the ball out of the park. And I finished on that by saying, I love you, my brother. I look forward to spending Saturday with you, because you're the best. All right, let's close here. We got a couple minutes. Let's talk a little bit more about Merrimack Valley Eats. Sure. Right? Biggest frustration for you?
I think, especially post-COVID, I think people are a lot easier to be frustrated with human error.
Yeah.
You know, I totally understand that it's their money, they're spending it, you know, for this experience, but I think they're not so empathetic to some mistakes, and then it snowballs. So, you know, a mild post turns into a just rage-filled comment section of people that are frustrated from something totally different that just pile on. And it's an effect that we haven't been able to curb, because the problem is, you know, we'll stop it in one sense, and then it'll, you know, new people join, and then it keeps just going, and it keeps moving, and it's not. It's a problem with, you know, social media in general. But I think that's the one frustrating part. It's like there's people on the other side of this.
Yeah, I think you said it right though. It's a problem with social media in general, right? So, and I hate to say it, but I've learned not to respond to social media.
Yeah,
right?
it's impressive.
Yeah, if you respond, you give it another life.
Right.
Right.
And it validates it. If you respond to it, you validate that.
It does. Yeah. But I want to give you credit where credit is due. I think you're doing a valuable service to the communities.
Thank you.
Right. And I think, for me, I'll tell you, when my kids said, hey, we want to go out Saturday night, the first thing I do is I go to Merrimack Valley Eats and I say, okay, what are people talking about? And I give you, some aren't even Methuen. There's an Italian restaurant in Amesbury. I never would have tried it. Molise.
Yep.
Second to none.
Yeah, I hear it's unreal. I haven't had it yet.
Second to none.
Okay.
So I went and took my kids, and they all gave it the clean plate thumb up, right? So,
high praise.
They're the harshest food critics I know.
Yeah,
right?
the kids are rough.
Yeah.
And they'll say it, my kids are younger, so they'll say it right there. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So I do think it provides a valuable service, and it's good for people to, comment on, specific dishes or things that they had that, I'm a creature of habit, unfortunately. So if I go to a restaurant 5 times, chances are high I'm going to get the same thing 5 times, unless I see something somewhere that says, hey, try this. It's really, unique, right?
I agree. I'm the same way.
Yeah. So for me, that's a helper. But the other part of it is, to your point, these all these small restaurants, when you think about, I hate to keep, what they've come through with COVID, right, with the pandemic, and what they had to put up with. And a point I made to the governor, I know I said a while back, was, it's hard for people who live in border communities like Methuen, like, Drake, when Massachusetts is closing restaurants and New Hampshire isn't. Right. So a stone's throw away, you've got restaurants that are open and, viable, and yet you can't. So, we've brought our restaurants through a lot, and it's our responsibility to support them in the end, right? To make sure that they're valuable. Jerry, this is the point in the show. We got 2 minutes left.
Sure.
Where I turn it over to you and say, what one thing didn't I ask you that you were prepared to answer, or that you really want the people who live in Methuen to know?
Yeah, I think it's sometimes bad experiences happen. I mean, Merrimack Valley Eats is always a place that you can voice your opinion. We just ask that you're kind. You have positive intent, meaning that you do genuinely want to see the restaurant grow and fix or resolve a mistake, and that it's not maybe coming from a place of malice. And that if you go to it, you can find us, Merrimack Valley Eats on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram at Hungry Beyond Boston. But that these things are always coming from a place of kindness and empathy. And just to consider, any situation on social media is a person on the other side. Whether it's a page that you're messaging or, a random entity, there is a human being, sitting on the other side of that keyboard and that screen, seeing that. Yeah. And just consider that, they are also human and can make mistakes.
It's good advice. And I would just add to that, and I know you supported this. If you're eating at a place and for whatever reason you think that, what you've been given is a little less, than what you expected, talk to the manager on duty or talk to your server about, kindly. Just say, this isn't either prepared the way I wanted it, or, isn't exactly what I thought it was going to be.
Right.
Have that discussion, because nothing dehumanizes the experience like going to social media and blasting. I had 3 tacos here and they stunk. I mean, and I'll be honest with you, I don't know how other people react to it, but when I see something like that, I immediately scratch it out. Meaning, not that I won't go to the restaurant. Right. I ignore the advice
noise
being given. Right. Because they say, okay, we're ranting now, so I've got to get a more realistic opinion of. Right. And I like to see it balanced.
I like help, not Yelp. That's what we say.
Amen. I love that.
That's kind of our core tenet. And my favorite kind of posts is somebody that's messaged the page, voiced their concerns, and then seen the outcome. So it's say, hey, I had this bad experience. We message them. Here's how they handled it. And then everybody wins. You give them feedback. People know how they handle bad situations, and then are more confident in what they do.
So, Jerry, on behalf of the residents of the city of Methuen, thank you for the service you provide, but thank you for your help with saving Methuen.
Yeah, absolutely.
We couldn't do it without you, my friend.
I love it.
We love your help. I hope my socks were drippy enough for you.
Yeah, I like it. I say the drippiest mayor. He's got some great coats and great suits. Every time you come to an event, you've got the he had purple with almost like a blue striping once, and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
And I reposted it. They say call him the drippiest mayor around. And then I got a message from somebody else.
So I saw that. I got to be honest with you. That was at Diane Zoglio's inauguration as the state auditor, and somebody sent me, what you posted, and I was like, I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Is that good or bad?
It was Phil, I think. Phil had posted.
He said,
or
it's good,
messaged
it's good.
It's good, yeah.
Okay. But anyways, listen, residents of Methuen, don't forget, Sunday is Father's Day. Tell your dad, thank you for all he's done for you. Show your appreciation. Take him out to restaurant week in Methuen. Save Methuen. I'm going to ask you again, if you go out, you experience any of these deals here, these are all listed on our website, by the way, so that you don't have to memorize them just from what you see here. But they're all listed on our website. Go to our website. When you go to one of these restaurants to participate in Save Methuen, take a pic with your group or with your individuals. Take a pic and hashtag it Save Methuen and post it. If it's hashtag Save Methuen, we will pick up on it.
We'll find it.
And we would like to share that so that others can benefit from your experience as well. To the restaurant owners, to the 16 plus who are participating in Save Methuen Week, thank you so much for coming with us every year like you do. Let's get out there, sample the cuisine, and let's give a lot of 5-star ratings out there, right? So, Save Methuen, all next week, June 17th to 21st. Perfect time right after Father's Day, like I said. Jerry, to you, thank you so much for being on the show
Thanks
today.
for having me.
You're welcome back anytime.
I love it.
All right, I could talk food all night.
Yeah, we could do this for a long time. We're probably over time now, but I do like talking about it.
We're just over. All right, thank you and God bless. So I've got a show next week, I believe, and then one more show, and then we take our summer hiatus. The police chief is back. He graduated from that prestigious academy down in Quantico, Virginia. I'm going to try to get him on because we've had a lot of talk about noise complaints and issues like that. And it'd be good to get the chief on to get him to give you his 2 cents of where we are with MPD, update the accreditation standards, etc., and talk a little bit about advances in our camera program, which is still growing. So we're installing our second set of 50 cameras, started this week. We're really enthused about that. So you scofflaw folks who like to dump trash in our neighborhoods, be on the alert. There are $500 fines lurking for you. So we'll see you back here next week. Get outside, take advantage. It was sunny when I came in. Hopefully it still is. God bless you all, and we'll see you back here next week.